Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. So Manchester United deserve credit for sticking with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Because Solskjaer could have been sacked quite easily. Like I've been through with you before, he was lucky not to be sacked when we got knocked out of the Champions League. Back in early December, Solskjaer was actually the favourite to get sacked. He was lucky not to be sacked after our 6-1 defeat to Tottenham. You can say he was also lucky not to be sacked at the first part of last season. But like I've said to you so many times, our board have a soft stance on Solskjaer. The main explanation is because he is a club legend, but disregarding him being a club legend, I think the board would be a lot more ruthless. So obviously, yes, Solskjaer's endured bad periods, but even managers at the top level at some point endure a bad period here and there. But don't forget, Mauricio Pochettino was the favourite to replace Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He was also the favourite to replace Jose Mourinho after he got sacked, but obviously Mauricio Pochettino is now out of the equation because obviously he's PSG's manager. He recently won his first trophy as PSG manager. But yeah, we're in a very, very good position now. We're sitting top of the Premier League by 3 points. Obviously, if we do beat Liverpool on Sunday, we will be 6 points clear. Then we'll be in a very comfortable position. Solskjaer's actually urged us to go to Anfield and cause an upset. But he did make an admission saying that we are the underdogs. Solskjaer is the first Manchester United manager to get us top at this stage of the season since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. We've also been very, very good away from home in the Premier League. We haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for almost a year. And we are unbeaten in our last, 11 Premier League games. Solskjaer got us to the EFL Cup semi-final this season. Obviously, we lost that to Manchester City 2-0. I was disappointed with that because that was obviously our 4th semi-final defeat in a row under Solskjaer. Because we obviously lost 3 semi-finals last season. But City are a very, very good team, especially in the EFL Cup, because they have won it for the last 3 seasons in a row. And City have reached their 4th consecutive League Cup final. Like I've said to you, despite our reluctance to back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with transfers, I still think that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has made good signings as Man United manager. He has spent over £200 million at the club. He did well last season in his first full season at the club. He got us qualification for the Champions League, got us 3rd, and he guided us to 3 semi-finals. And we've also seen a lot of players depart the club since he got recommended in. But obviously now there is a lot of Manchester United fans that are Ole in. But earlier on in the season, a lot of Man United fans were Ole out, including me. I was very, very critical of him, reflecting how inconsistent we was. But with how good we have been in recent months, my perception has slowly started to change on him. I've already told you my biggest concern about Solskjaer, and that's his decision making, because in a lot of his games at Man United he has been tactically naive, and reflecting on that, that's cost us in games. But in some games his decision making has been very, very good, but it's obviously got to be good persistently. You can say Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has learned quite a few things in the job. Reflecting now on his being at the club, maybe there's still some things he's got to learn on the job. And obviously he has gained some managerial experience. You know, Manchester United is the third club in his managerial career. Obviously, before he came to us, he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde. But they're not a big club, are they? And before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff. And his record at Cardiff was absolutely disastrous. Now, the main explanation he got sacked from Cardiff is because he ended up getting Cardiff relegated. But like I say, you know, Solskjaer's been Manchester United manager now for over 2 years. And he has got a contract with the football club until 2022. You know, is there a possibility, chance that we could extend Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's contract at some point this year? Because I think he's more than halfway through now his 3-year deal. And this is his second full season as Manchester United manager. And I always did say, didn't I, you know, this season was going to be a big season for him. And I said he needs to exceed his expectations if he is to remain Man United manager. And at the moment, he is exceeding his expectations. Do you think if we finished in the top 4, the top 3 and won a trophy this season, that would represent a good season for Man United? I think it would, and then it would give us something to build on. It's very, very imperative that we get our first trophy on the board under Solskjaer. We haven't won a trophy now for just over 4 years. But there's 3 trophies we can pursue. You know, we can win the Premier League, we can win the FA Cup, and we can also win the Europa League. It'd absolutely be remarkable if we did win the Premier League title. I still don't think we're going to win it. And I think the game on Sunday is not going to be a title decider. So if we win, you know, it doesn't mean we're going to win the league. And if Liverpool win, it doesn't mean they're going to win the league, because it's still too early to say. But we'll certainly win another Premier League title at some point if we don't win it this season. You know, if we do, it will be our first Premier League title since 2013, and it will be our 21st title overall. But Solskjaer has been playing mind games, hasn't he? Because don't forget, he did say after our 1-0 win against Wolves that, you know, we're not in the title races yet. But he said if we are still challenging in March, he'll start to believe then that we are in the title race. Don't forget, he did say prior to the game against Burnley that, you know, he warned Man United to stay humble and not think they've cracked it if, you know, they go top of the league, which we did. You know, still a long way to go. We appointed Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in as Man United manager in December 2018 to replace Mourinho, and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. We give him the job permanently, reflects on what he did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. But whether Solskjaer succeeds or he doesn't succeed, either way, we do adore him because he was a great player for the football club for 11 years. He flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance, and obviously Solskjaer's most iconic moment as a player was 1999 when he scored the late goal in the Champions League final to win the club the treble. That's obviously the club's greatest achievement. But I'm starting to believe now that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer could succeed as Manchester United manager and possibly could emulate into a top level manager in that. But you can see the way we have progressed. You know, what we're first now, midway through January 2021, I think around this time last year, was we sitting like 5th or 6th in the Premier League. We haven't been that good at home though this season. I think we've won 4 games at Old Trafford in the Premier League this season. I think we've won 6 games at Old Trafford in all competitions. We was enjoying our worst start at Old Trafford for around 50 years, wasn't we? But you can say Solskjaer's been in the old Man United back. You really, really can. You know, with how good we've been in recent months, like I mentioned earlier. We've come from behind a lot in games this season, especially the games away from home, and we used to do this a lot under the Sir Alex Ferguson era. When Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got appointed in as Man United manager, I did say to you, didn't I? He was inheriting a lot of deadwood. He's got rid of quite a lot of the deadwood, but he's still inheriting some deadwood now. The vast majority of this team is Jose Mourinho's, because Jose Mourinho did recommend 11 players into Man United. You know, we've spent over £1 billion on players since Sir Alex Ferguson left. And we've brought around, 36, 37 players in since Sir Alex Ferguson left. And a lot of those players we have brought in haven't been the right calibre players for Man United. We've made quite a few mistakes since Ferguson left, and that's why we've obviously been inconsistent in the managerial eras up until this point under Solskjaer. But 3 managers have been sacked since the Sir Alex Ferguson era, even though we're not known as a sacking club. But obviously we sacked David Moyes after, 10 months. He enjoyed the shortest tenure at Man United. You know, we finished 7th under the David Moyes era. That's the lowest we've finished in the Premier League era. You know, Ferguson was at the fault for ever recommending Moyes in the first place. But the main explanation he recommended him in is because there was both Scottish. Obviously, we sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years, you know, despite him winning the FA Cup. And we sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years, despite him winning the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield in his first season. And I give you the reasons why it didn't work out under Mourinho is because he had bad disputes with the board, bad disputes with the top players, and the board just weren't backing the signings that he wanted to recommend in to the football club. So there you go. Now, obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer budget has been revealed. I think he's got around £20 million to spend. Solskjaer recently revealed our January transfer plans, and he said that January signings are unlikely, like I updated you on. You know, this January transfer window is his 5th transfer window as Man United manager. Woodward has promised that, you know, he will back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but he did say, didn't he, towards the end of last year, that he will back Solskjaer with a long-term plan centred around summer transfer windows. Like I've said to you, the board has been one of the biggest problems at the club for several years. You know, Woodward's been at the club since 2012, and the Glazers have been at the football club since 2005. We're obviously expecting around 3 players, is it, to leave in this January transfer window. It said the other week that Solskjaer held talks with around 6 players he wants to get rid of. Don't forget, Timothy Fosu-Mensah recently left the club to join Bayer Leverkusen. He's the first player to leave Man United permanently in this January transfer window. Solskjaer's already confirmed that Sergio Romero and Marcus Rojo are free to leave in this January window. He says their contracts won't be extended. You know, Will Phil Jones leaving this January window. If it's not in this January window, I think he'll leave in the summer. Is Lingard going to leave? Now, he's been subjected to transfer speculation. Sky Sports recently said that Jesse Lingard's representatives were in initial discussions with Nice over the loan move. He said, you know, West Ham have been in negotiations with Lingard's agent. Sheffield United have also been in for him. He did say towards the end of last year that Real Sociedad were in talks with his agent, and Villa, Celtic and Rangers have been in for him. But Solskjaer said he actually wants Lingard to stay this month, despite him, you know, losing his place in the team. But Lingard has been part of the club for several years. I think he's into the final 6 months of his contract. We're obviously expecting Odin Ighalo to leave. His loan expires at the end of this month. There's obviously been rumours of Daniel James going out on loan, and there's been rumours of Brandon Williams going out on loan. You know, Brandon Williams is our third choice left back following the arrival of Alex Telles. And I think more players will leave Man United in the summer transfer window. But yeah, certainly Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be Man United manager at the end of this season. He's going to be given at least another season at the football club. But like I say, we're enjoying a good period under him now. We enjoyed a good period last season, didn't we? Because we went on a 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions last season, and we was 14 unbeaten in the Premier League. Till obviously Palace beating us on the opening day of this season. Like I said to you though, there has been a lot of players on our agenda. Earlier on today, I give you the news on Declan Rice. ESPN said that Man United are set to rival Chelsea for Declan Rice. Declan Rice is Frank Lampard's number one target. You know, Frank Lampard was infuriated when he missed out on Declan Rice. I think West Ham did value him at around £80 million. Don't forget, we've inquired about his availability before. You know the news on Sergio Ramos. You know the news on Dayot Upamecano from RB Leipzig. Not so long ago, I gave you the news on Jadon Sancho because Sky Sports said that Jadon Sancho admits that he's enjoyed a difficult season at Dortmund, but he's happy to be amongst the goals. Don't forget, last summer he was our number one priority target. You obviously know the news on Erling Haaland as well. I think we are looking to make around 4 signings to complete our squad overhaul. Now, there is good players at Manchester United. We've obviously got Bruno Fernandes. He's an exceptional player. He's our best player and he's the best signing we have made since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Bruno Fernandes has been at Man United now, is it a year or almost a year? In most of his games, he has been consistent. There's only been the odd couple of games where he has looked off the pace. You know, Fernandes won Player of the Month for December, but he's won that now quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. He's predominantly number 10. Fernandes said he was disappointed that we didn't win a trophy last season, but obviously he did say that he came to Manchester to win trophies. Obviously, we've got Donny van der Beek. That's a good player. That's when he plays. He seldom starts in the Premier League. He's only started 2 games in the Premier League so far, and that was West Ham and Southampton. Most of his appearances have come from the bench. Now, I'll give you the news on Donny van der Beek earlier on today. Sources in Italy said that Inter Milan are willing to take him on loan this month. It actually said Donny van der Beek's made his decision and he actually wants to stay at Man United and fight for his place. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer spoke about him the other week and insists that he has a bright future at Man United and tips Donny van der Beek to emulate Fred and Lindelof by succeeding at the football club. We got Donny van der Beek in a deal worth £40 million from Ajax last summer. We paid £35 million up front and there was £5 million in add-ons. You know, Van der Beek can play in like 3 different roles. He was predominantly a box-to-box midfielder at Ajax, but you can also play him as a number 10 and you can also put him out wide. Now, Marcus Rashford's obviously a very, very good player, and I do think that he has improved under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. You know, I like the way he gets runs in behind. His finishing's good. He can score goals. He can also create chances. But But I just think we need to keep him out wide because that's where he's more effective. But sometimes we play him centrally. Don't get me wrong, Rashford's enjoyed some bad games under Solskjaer where he hasn't really got a lot of service or, his finishing's been poor. Rashford's been a United player since the age of 7 and he's been in our senior squad since 2016. And since then, he has become an integral part of our team. I think that Edison Cavani is very, very good. Cavani has enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. Don't forget, not so long ago, he served a 3-match ban for the racist comment that he put on social media last month. Obviously, he's now back. We got Edison Cavani on deadline day last summer on a free transfer. He signed a 1-year contract with Man United with an option of a 2nd year. Solskjaer spoke about him not so long ago and he did say that Edison Cavani is definitely a starter for Man United. He said that we're already looking to extend his contract and he revealed the first thing that Edison Cavani asked him and that's whether he could wear the number 7 shirt. And I said when we got Cavani, he will be the next Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Now, I think Anthony Martial, he's a good player when he wants to be. He has enjoyed quite a few bad games this season. Earlier on in the season, he was out of form because he wasn't being clinical enough in front of goal. And then, obviously, after that period, he had a few good games. And recently, hasn't been great because his finishing has been quite poor. He has had chances, but he just hasn't converted them. Martial's obviously got a hamstring problem at the moment. He sustained that in our 1-0 win against Burnley. But Martial was good last season. He scored 23 goals in 48 games. And he was good in his debut season under Louis van Gaal. Martial's been at the club now for over 5 years. Sometimes play him out wide, sometimes we play him centrally. A lot last season he was playing centrally, but Solskjaer was the one that gave Anthony Martial that number 9 shirt. I think Greenwood's a good player. Greenwood hasn't played a lot of football recently, and don't forget earlier on in the season he had personal issues. He was out with injury at one point. And at one point he was out with illness, but Ollie's been defending him a lot this season. This is his 2nd season in our senior squad, and at the start of this season, we give him that number 11 shirt. I think Fred's really, really improved under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. He shows good attacking intent. I like the way he breaks up the play. I think the only thing that Fred needs to work on is his reading of the game. Fred's been at the club now a few years. Got him in a deal worth £52 million from Shakhtar Donetsk, didn't we? Got to say he was a world-class player in Ukraine. Scott McTominay can also be a good player when he wants to be. He's enjoyed some good games and he's enjoyed bad games. McTominay was very, very good against Watford in the FA Cup 3rd round. He obviously scored the goal in the 5th minute. He was the captain of the team till Harry Maguire came on in that one. But certainly his best game in a Man United shirt was the 6-2 win against Leeds, because he scored twice in that game and he also got an assist. Did McTominay. Got to give Paul Pogba a lot of credit because I think he's done very, very well since he came back from that ankle injury that he had earlier on in the season. He was recently out with a minor injury as well. Paul Pogba was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury. Now, I'll give you the news on Paul Pogba earlier on today. He gave an interview and said that we're not on Liverpool's level as yet, but he insists that Man United can win the Premier League title, and he's been talking about, the things that he hates under Solskjaer, and I don't think he likes being on the bench, and Pogba's admitted that he could miss the game on Sunday against Liverpool. You know, Paul Pogba could leave Manchester United in the summer, like I've already mentioned, because he has had a long-running transfer saga. Now, I think Luke Shaw is also a very, very good left back. You know, my only element of concern about Luke Shaw is that he's injury prone. Luke Shaw came back from injury not so long ago. He was out injured earlier on in the season, and he had a couple of periods out with injury last season, and that's obviously why Brandon Williams was getting, you know, a lot of chances. Luke Shaw's enjoyed a pretty good career at Man United. I think Harry Maguire is really rejuvenated himself. You know, it's good to see him bounce back from his early season troubles, because don't forget, before the start of the season, he had that incident in Greece. And I think he got sent off in one of England's pre-season games against Denmark, was it? Yeah. Harry Maguire, though, certainly wasn't worth the 80 million that we got him for. He's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment, and he is our current captain. Eric Bailly, I've been very proud of him since he started playing again. I like the way he intercepts, he makes good blocks, he shows that ability to play out from the back. And I certainly prefer him to Victor Lindelof, Eric Bailly. My only element of concern about Bailly is that he's injury prone. Bailly's just come back from a neck injury not so long ago. And I think he'll be playing on Sunday against Liverpool, will Bailly. You know, I think he might be able to keep Liverpool at bay with how much of a good defender he is. Man Wan-Bissaka, I think he's improved. I think he's a good right back. Defensively, more or less being very good. It's just his lack of attacking intent and his distribution what concerns me. But Wan-Bissaka again can get in good positions, and you know he can put good crosses into the box. Like I said, I think David De Gea is getting back to his best. I said David De Gea will remain our number one this season for at least. You know, this is his 10th season at Manchester United, so he has been a long servant at the club, and he's made over 500 appearances for the club in all competitions as David De Gea. But I think Dean Henderson's also good. He's played well when he's played this season, and at some point, you know, Dean Henderson will become our number one goalkeeper. Alex Telles, I think he's done pretty well since he's come in, but he's also endured some bad games. So we have got a good squad. Do you think it's a title-winning squad? I certainly think it's good enough to at least finish in the top 4 or the top 3. But we get more signings in there, then you can start talking. Then you can definitely start talking then. So yeah, so like I say, I will be on with some more videos tomorrow, guys. So there you go. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.